What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming, I guess, plus movies. And I'm your host, Andrew, and with me is my co-host, Joey. How you doing, Joey?
Good. How are you?
Not bad, just tired. Pretty tired.
Yeah.
So, how was your week? Well, actually, this is kind of late. This should be from this past weekend, but it's Wednesday at this point, so I guess this is still for this week. But, you know, since the last recording, how was your life?
Nice. My brother came to visit, and then Valentine's happened, so it's been kind of hectic.
That doesn't sound fun.
I mean, it was nice to see my brother, but then it was I felt so rushed in getting things done.
Hectic because it was busy, not hectic because it wasn't fun.
So much stuff going on.
Yeah. Anything like, you guys do anything fun?
We went to the movies. We did a lot of hiking because he's really big on working out and just walking and I guess fit, but in nature. So we actually went to the mountains, which I've never done before, and I probably won't ever do again.
Why?
My calves are killing me.
Yeah, but if you do it again, they probably won't be killing you as much.
Nope.
Not
Never again. Nope, never again.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to go hiking.
It sounds easy, but it's so not.
I mean, I guess everything sounds easy or easier than it is.
Until you do it.
I mean, aside from being able to do it, it doesn't sound fun to me.
Right.
I'd be like, can we stop and sit and I could just sit on my phone here?
Yep.
Oh, I don't get a good connection here. Can you hear me now? Good. Alright, so I guess we'll jump. Oh, well, what I did. I almost skipped what I did. I guess I didn't really do too much, but I did finish reading this, I don't want to say manga. I guess I think the correct term is manhwa. It's one of those, the Korean, I think it's Korean. One of the Korean comics that are created to scroll on your phone. So it's set up like as if it was one long giant image, but you know, it's a bunch of multiple connecting images. Which was an interesting concept to make a comic based for a mobile device as opposed to a book. So I don't know how familiar you are with a manhwa, I guess, if that's what it's called or how it's pronounced. But
not really.
I came across this one series and I checked it out, and then I got hooked on it a while back, and I finally finished reading it. It was called Girls of the Wilds, and it's like this high school called Wilds High, and there's this kid, and I kind of forget their names or not sure how to pronounce them because they're all Korean, and I don't really know how Korean pronunciations are. So, I mean, based on my most likely butchered pronunciations, from what I can remember, the main character's name was Jigo, and he basically, you know, lived by himself and his younger brother and sister who were twins, and he was basically taking care of them, and you know, I think it was his father who passed away, and the mother walked out, and so he was the mother basically abandoned the kids, and so he was taking care of himself and his siblings for I don't know how long, but he had this because of his mother walking out on them, he had this hatred towards women because he just, I guess, felt like they were monsters, and so he wasn't focused on education. He was focused on just working to you know, support his family, and what winds up happening is there's this of course there's an all-girl school, and they just, I guess they just opened up to including male students, and I'm not sure the reasoning why. I guess they were having difficulty recruiting male students, but the principal or whoever was in charge decided to reach out to Jigo and was like, if you join our school, we'll give you a full scholarship. So he winds up joining because I guess the way it's set up is you have to pay for school, and so since he couldn't afford to go to school, that was the initial reasoning for him not attending school. But now that he could go to school for free, he decides to do it. So what winds up happening is he's in this all-girl school, and all the girls like him, of course, because why wouldn't they? But there's this mentality that the principal says something about getting. He's very much into like, oh, your youth and stuff like that. That's not a very good example, but he says, oh, if you get, I guess, like if you get a boyfriend or something, then you get extra points or something, and because like this is the time of your youth, be a girl, and so all the girls, aside from the fact that I guess they like him, they all want the extra points, so each one of them wants to go after him, and he just hates them all because because of his upbringing, he just has this strong hatred towards women, which I thought was a very interesting take on the idea of, I guess not necessarily a harem series, but just your typical series that's like one guy and multiple women, is the fact that he actually dislikes them and they all like him. So and this is all like in the first few chapters, so this there's not really any spoilers here. This is all stuff you learn in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then, like, he winds up running into this really popular girl who, because Wild's High is known for bringing up like martial artists and like people who would either play in like exhibition matches, or like they would be bodyguards, or just like they learn to fight professionally. So so he winds up running into, and I believe it's been a while since I read the first chapter, but I think he winds up like humiliating the strongest like in the world, I guess. She's like a really strong fighter, and her family is filthy rich, of course. And he winds up somehow humiliating her, and it's just like they go back and forth, and eventually they become friends, and Jigo starts opening up, and then more characters get introduced, and they, become friendly, and then there's these love triangles, and it's just a very interesting story that ended up being about 260 chapters was the finale, and it was just like a really sweet story, and it was pretty cool. I would say I think it was action, but it had some drama and romance in it. It was really cool. So that was really the only big thing that was really worth talking about that I did this week that wasn't video game or movie related. And other than that, I watched more episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is an anime, and that's pretty much it. So so yeah, I guess we could jump right into it, if technically haven't really. So for the video games, what have you been playing?
The only thing I played was the first Halo, and that's just because we got it out for funsies. And
you and your brother?
Yeah, he doesn't have an Xbox anymore, so my little brother was playing it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't played this in so long," and so we all got it out and did multiplayer.
Nice.
And that's pretty much all we did, like game related.
I've never even played it.
Really?
Really?
Story-wise, it's not too bad. I mean, the graphics, it's like 2001, so,
I always
not
to
the
check
best. It out. But it's a good story.
Yeah. I always wanted to check it out, and I never had an Xbox, and then eventually I got an Xbox 360, and by then I hadn't played the first one, And then I don't know what happened if I was just playing other games at the time, but I just never got around to playing Halo, and it was something that I was always like, yeah, one day I'll play it, and at this point I feel like I'm never going to play it.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
It's pretty
How
good.
is that game anyway? Like, do you
The
feel like
first
it's...
one?
Yeah, do you feel like it's overrated? Do you think it's...
No, I
I wouldn't
think
say underrated, because I remember it being pretty hyped up.
I really like the Halo franchise. I think it's pretty good. I think it'd be really awesome if they remade the first one with better graphics and whatnot.
That would be cool,
But
but I wouldn't be able to play it, because I don't have an Xbox One. But, I mean, that would be cool. The only Microsoft game that seemed, or exclusive, like Xbox exclusive series, that I always seemed pretty interested in, that I didn't play, but I was always like, yeah, one day I'm going to get this, was Gears of War. That always seemed pretty interesting to me. Have you ever checked that out?
yeah, I've never played it.
Really? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it just always seemed cool to me because when I got into Resident Evil, I started with 4. I mean, I went back and played the older games, but that was my first exposure, I guess, to third-person shooting games. And then when I saw Gears of War, I was like, oh, that's the same type of play style. Or that was my, that's what I could take from it. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
exactly is the same type, but third-person shooter genre. And so it seemed like it would be something I would be into, and I just never got around to playing it. But what a, how long of a game is Halo?
Gameplay?
And story and whatever.
Um, honestly, it's taken. This is just me because I'm a really slow player, but it's taken me almost 2 years to finish the game.
Oh, so you never actually beaten it?
No, to this day I haven't beaten it
Why?
because I don't know, I start playing a game, I'll get really into it, then I get stuck on a hard level and I give up for a bit,
Oh,
forget about it, and then get back into it. And it's just,
and you're able to remember the story?
oh yeah, it's Halo is probably one of my favorite franchise. Well, I can't speak. My favorite franchises besides
Really?
BioShock.
Well, I remember you
Um,
talking about Bioshock. I think the first
yeah,
episode you started,
because it's
but
probably yeah.
you might have mentioned Halo. I can't remember, but I didn't know it was one of your favorites. Huh.
It's probably because it's like near and dear to my heart, just because we used to play as a family. Not
Since,
the story mode, but
okay.
like, yeah, multiplayer mode.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just,
that makes
yeah,
sense. Like the timing of playing a game and
yeah,
like you playing the game and who's with you can affect your enjoyment of a game.
yeah. Like
Like,
BioShock is my favorite series for me, but Halo just brings back so many fun memories of just sitting down and playing all together.
huh? Yeah, that makes sense. I have a lot of memories with games growing up, just in terms of playing with family or friends who I don't see anymore, or like it was a specific moment. Like I know I remember like playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles with one of my cousins, and they let me be Sonic and they were Tails. So like I got to run through the game and like still play with them. Or like when I first got an N64, got Mario Kart 64, and that would be a game that my sister would join in or my dad would join in. So it was something that my family actually played. Nowadays, I'm the only one who plays video games in my family. But at the time, that was, I guess, because it was new and they were interested in it, as opposed to them not being interested in it anymore. But what other what other games did you play? I guess with your family, like what other games in general, since we're on the topic of that, brings memories?
There was an old game called Fusion Frenzy, and it was almost like uh I don't know, like how to describe, like Mario Party.
Yes.
You wanted to get like the most coins or whatever, or the most stars. It was something similar to that, but
Hmm.
I can't remember exactly what you tried to get the most of, but you had a pink player, a green player, a blue player, yellow, orange, and I think that was all the players. And I always was the pink one because she was like Australian or British. She had an accent and I really liked her. And you played these different mini games. So like one you had to smash all these bugs in like a subway. One of them you had like these big hamster balls and you had to like push the other people off the ledge.
I have no
We
idea.
used to love that game, but I remember it broke my heart. The CD cracked. Like someone
Oh.
had accidentally stepped on it and I can't find it anywhere.
What system was this?
It was Xbox.
Oh, Fusion Frenzy. I'm looking online.
Yeah, it was.
It was a launch title for the Microsoft Xbox. So, being a launch title, I guess it's pretty old, huh? There's a sequel.
It was way back in the day. I wouldn't even know if there was a sequel.
There was.
Really?
Fusion Frenzy 2.
Yeah, it was the first one was it just broke my heart. Like that would be if we had friends over or if we like had like a big slumber party, that'd be the game we went to. Because we didn't have Mario Party at the time, so that was like the Mario Party for us.
Um, it's interesting. I've never even heard of this. I mean, maybe I've heard.
I know I don't think it was very popular because when I tell people it, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But I know it existed because I have the box still. There's no game in it.
So it's very reminiscent of Mario Kart. I mean, it's Mario Party, not Mario Kart.
Yeah, like I can't even remember how it determined who the winner would be. There was a point system. I just can't think of what it was.
22 different game modes. It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, unlike other party games such as the Mario Party series or Sonic Shuffle, Fusion Frenzy has no overarching game board. Rather, players proceed from one random minigame to another and from zone to zone in an order determined without player input. That's interesting. No game board. So there's no, like, over...
Not that I remember. I just remember
overworld thing.
you pick your player, you pick your setting, and then you just do all these mini games, and then the winner, it like when you won, it'd be like raining in the city, and you would have a third place platform, a second place platform, and then first place platform, and then you always want to be first place because like the lights were shining on you, and you're just like, I don't know, I can't even recall exactly the gameplay, honestly.
So between each minigame, it goes back to a city and just shows
No,
who won?
like it just goes to a different minigame.
Oh.
So you play a minigame, whoever wins, it shows you who won, who got second, third, etc. And then it shows your scores, and then you go to the next minigame.
That's interesting. Interesting is like the word I always use. So I don't mean to undersell the word, but that does sound interesting. What's a better synonym for interesting?
I have no idea.
I think of I don't know if you ever watched a show called Little Bear as a kid. That was that was the word he always said. Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're engrossed in the information you're receiving? I don't know.
Engrossing.
Enthralling, maybe?
Enthralling.
That's a synonym, right? For interesting? Fascinated. I'm
about to find out right now.
Fascinating.
On good old thesaurus.com. Appealing.
Appealing.
Entertaining. Engaging. I should just keep this page out, and every time I want to say interesting, I just look at it and I'm like, compelling. Fascinating. Intriguing. Impressive.
Yup.
I'm going to keep that out and not refer to it at all. But, so going back to Halo for a moment, have you, does the series pick up where the last one left off, or
Yes.
does each one has its own
No.
story?
It's a continuing story.
What exactly is the story? I suppose without spoilers.
Without spoilers, they go to this planet. I think it's the Covenant, maybe. I can't remember. But you want to destroy these bugs and all this shit.
Oh.
I don't know.
Fascinating.
Honestly, like, I can't even remember.
Compelling.
I know. But, like, these bugs,
Intriguing.
these bug alien things, they look like bugs, to be honest. These alien things, they're bad and you want to destroy them. And is Halo the planet or is it the ship? I can't even remember. But the main goal is to defeat the mother alien and all that fun stuff.
So it's basically, what's that movie? With the planet with the big bugs on it?
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, it's basically Starship Troopers.
I'm
sure.
I can see the similarities.
I don't know why my stomach's making noises, so my microphone is probably going to pick up on that. So anybody who's listening, if you keep hearing like a noise, I don't know why that's my stomach making noises. I don't think you can hear it, but I'm sure everybody else will hear it. But back to what you were saying. It's Starship Troopers.
It's sort of similar.
Okay.
Sorta.
Did you play anything else?
No, that was about it.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the next game that was on my list of games that I didn't talk about last week. And I'm trying to recall them. I think the next one was Resident Evil 7. Because I don't recall talking about that.
You did.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so.
No. Didn't we talk about... No, we talked about the movies.
Yeah, we talked about the movies. Let me just double check. I just want to check on the last episode what we did talk about. Because I don't want to wind up talking about something I've already talked about. Okay, look at this description. Last one was episode 17. And I talked about A King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15. I talked about Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, along with back cover. And I talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and apparently I talked about Fire Emblem Heroes, which I didn't know that... Oh yeah, okay, I do remember talking about that. Do you remember me talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then the next game on my list, and I guess I won't take too long because we have to get into the movies. Resident Evil 7 was awesome. I was very afraid that it was going to suck or deviate a lot from Resident Evil, and it did not, and it winded up being awesome. The first person, well, I do really miss the third person. The first person winded up actually going well hand in hand with the idea of you being this unknown character and going through this experience. I guess VR would be better, but I didn't play it in VR, and I was a little bit turned off from playing it in VR because since you can move your hands around and you can look wherever you want, it looked like the hands winded up being in VR. The hands winded up being what's the word I'm looking for? Not attached to, dismember? No, I don't know. It wound up just being floating hands, and a lot of text would sometimes hide behind objects, and something else I was going to mention about the VR. Oh, sometimes when you're not playing in VR, the camera will sort of lock into a certain area or specifically at a certain point because it's more so essential to, not essential, but it's more so you want to, the game wants you to look at something because it's part of its storytelling. And if you're in VR, there is no locking onto a certain thing because you're free to move your head around. So I feel like I feel like the VR would probably take away from how the creators want you to view the story at certain points. I'm not saying as a whole, but at certain points. But the VR is probably a better experience overall because you get to be in it. But I don't know. To me, I didn't really care. I just prefer playing with a controller and on a TV screen, honestly. But yeah, you're this main character named Ethan, and as soon as the game starts up, it shows, and I'm gonna say what it is, and it's not a spoiler because obviously it's happening. But the thing is, when you're playing, when you see it the first time, you don't like. I feel like they're trying to get you to see this, and it's like you don't really catch on sometimes. Like I didn't catch on, but apparently you are in the very beginning when it opens up. You're viewing from the wife, who's filming herself on a laptop, a message to send to the main character. So when I first saw that, I thought I was the main character watching the message. So that wasn't very clear, but I winded up understanding what it was later on because obviously that's a flash forward, and you wind up seeing that again. So what's actually happening, which is not a spoiler because obviously they're trying to show you this, but I guess it can be difficult to pick up or piece together until you see it later on. But the opening cutscene is the wife filming herself as opposed to the main character watching the clip. So she says her thing, oh, blah, 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 I lied to you, I shouldn't have, but, if you get this, stay away. And then that's when it opens up, you're the main character, and he's driving to, it doesn't, you don't know, he says where he's driving to, but he's just driving, and then he's on the phone with somebody while he's driving, and he's like, oh, I'm, I found, or I got an email from my wife, then his friend's like, oh, it's been 3 years. He's like, yeah, I know. So basically, his wife's been missing for 3 years, and he gets an email from her out of the blue saying, I'm in Dulvey, Louisiana, come get me. So he winds up going on a road trip to Dulvey, Louisiana, to the Baker farm, because, that was in the email, Baker farm or whatever. So, and the Baker is the last name of the family, so the Bakers. So he goes, when it starts up, you're getting out of the car and you're on their property. So then you're just, I guess you go in or whatever. But a friend of mine winded up kind of ruining the experience. Not ruining, but kind of like made me realize how stupid the main character is, because in that situation, you really should call the cops. Yeah. But, so when I heard that, I was like, damn it, now this isn't realistic. Because realistic within the context of the story. Obviously it's not realistic. You got like monsters and shit, but within the context of Resident Evil, you're like, this guy's an idiot. He should have called the cops. Like, why would you not call the cops or whoever? Like, if you had a missing, if there was a missing persons case, they're missing for 3 years, and you wind up getting an email from said missing person, wouldn't they send like friggin' SWAT team or FBI or whatever?
Yeah.
So right there, my friend kind of like pulled me out of the experience, and I was like, damn it. But thankfully I had beaten the game already before he said that, so I got to enjoy it within the mindset of, oh, I'm not an idiot. Or I guess they could have gotten away with it if they had opened it up differently, and there was whatever SWAT team or something, and then something happened. But obviously, then the atmosphere and tension, or that type of storytelling wouldn't have built up the same way. It would have started off more like action and then went into horror. And obviously, that's not what they were going for. They wanted you to be alone. So, I feel like from that perspective, I mean, I guess they didn't have to do anything about it, but I feel like maybe it should have been explained. Like, why is he going in alone,
Yeah.
Which I think lends to some theories going around about the main character actually not being a nobody. And one of the quote-unquote pieces of evidence comes from a file you find in Resident Evil 5. I believe it was on the ship towards the end of the game, and you come across Spencer's notebook, and Spencer was the head of Umbrella. There was a list of names of people who they were like the top operatives or people who knew the most that he eliminated, so that I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was referring to a specific project, and I think it was. But then these people on the list were either killed or disposed of, or whatever terms were listed next to it. Was like deceased, something else, terminated, whatever. But one of the names on that list of names was an Ethan W. And the main character of Resident Evil 7's name is Ethan Winters. So it could be a coincidence, but a lot of people are just, talking about it. It's like, oh, it would make sense, How did he, how does he know how to, fight? Or, how is he not so surprised about seeing biological, BOWs, bioorganic weapons, which are the monsters? Why is he not so surprised? Has he seen that before? And by not surprised, I mean his initial reactions when he comes across monsters are like, what the hell? He's not like, oh my god, what the hell? So it kind of, that theory lends to, oh, that's interesting, And I'm wondering if maybe he stayed away from the authorities because he was trying, if he was this character who was supposed to be killed off by Spencer, maybe he's sort of in hiding and trying to avoid authorities, maybe if that's all true, then that could kind of support the story better, specific things you shouldn't question, it supports those things better. But then again, it's just all theoretical, and I just I at this point now where I'm so is it one of the people on that list? And I feel like Capcom could go either way with it. They could treat it as a coincidence, or they can treat it as, oh yeah, you thought he was a nobody, but all along he was actually a somebody.
Yeah.
So they could take it wherever they want with it. And there's some other things that would support the theory that I won't talk about because those would be spoilers, but. Yeah, so the non-spoiler support for that theory was the stuff I said. But you get to the property, that if anybody played the demo for Resident Evil 7, which was I forget the title for the demo. But if anybody played that, the first area is the area that's in the demo. You're not the character from the demo, even though it doesn't matter too much because you don't really see your character much throughout the game. But in the demo, you were a character who woke up in the house. I don't remember how you were brought there, or even if it's important. But in Resident Evil 7, you're a different character. And I think the canon ending of the demo is that whoever that character is got out alive. So it's unimportant, but it's that same area, and it kind of you go through that. I think it was the guest house, and by the end of it, you wind up going to a new section of the house, and I don't even think you go back to the other house, and then there's multiple. I wouldn't say multiple houses, but there are multiple buildings, but it's all on the farm. And so, and you go into other areas, and so you're not always locked in the same place. One of the things I was worried about before going into the game was like, is this all going to take place in one house? Like, like Resident Evil, the first game took place in a mansion, but then there was the lab underground, and I think there was another section. So, I guess I was worrying for nothing. It wound up being a really awesome game. So, yeah, and right now. Not right this second, obviously, but I'm in the midst of going back and forth to the DLC. There's a mode where you're playing as one of the characters from one of the cassette tapes that you watch, and I don't know how canon or not it is, but you're basically going through more like a mini game, and then another was like more like a puzzle. Like trying to escape a room. So it's like, what can I do in this room that I can get out? It's like, oh, there's this item that will open up this thing. Like, oh, this lockpick, and there's this drawer that's locked. So you're going around this room trying to figure out how can I get out, And the door is locked on you because one of the characters locked the door. So it's just really cool. And I didn't get to the extra DLC yet because I think it had just come out today or yesterday. So I plan on checking that out. And I guess that's really much it without... I could keep talking about it, but there's not much else for me to talk about without spoiling anything. Off the top of my head, at least. If I sat around and thought, like, what else can I talk about? Probably could. The gameplay was really smooth. One of the only things I didn't like was the lack of a New Game Plus. However, certain things, if you unlock things by beating the game under certain circumstances, like if you beat the game under 4 hours, you get this and this, and so it seems like that will always carry over to any new game you play. So anytime you make it to the safe box, I think it's called, or item box or whatever, where you can put items in and take items out, whatever you unlocked will automatically be in there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, talk about any other game next time, because I gotta savor the games I've played to talk about while I can. Plus, we're, going a little over timing, and I do want to get to the movies, so I guess, would you like to take it away for the movies?
Sure. The Lego Batman movie was amazing. Like, it was probably my favorite thing I saw this weekend.
Really?
It was tongue-in-cheek. It made references to every single Batman movie, cartoon, show. It was pure brilliance. I also did see John Wick Chapter 2, which is way better than the first one. Oh my god.
I still didn't see the first one, but interesting.
Oh my gosh. I can't. It was great. I have not seen 50 Shades Darker, and I probably won't until it comes out. Did you see the first one? I've seen the first one, yes.
So, John Wick 2, did the first one leave off in a spot where...
No, it didn't. Okay. The first one didn't leave off any, random ties or anything. But there are references to the first one. Mm-hmm. But you could probably watch the second one and not really be missing anything if you never saw the original.
Oh, so there's no... Like, watching the second one first wouldn't ruin the experience of the first one?
There are some things in the first one that you would... I guess it would be okay to know. It'd be good to know. But if you had never seen it and just went to the second one, you would not be missing much.
Okay.
Like, it's not a continuation story. In a way it is, but it's not like a main story or plot point.
Okay.
But it's beautifully filmed, and the action sequences are choreographed amazingly. Were
there any other famous actors aside from Keanu Reeves?
There's someone from Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
But he's old guy number 5, I don't know.
Wait, are you big into Game of Thrones?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay, so when that starts up again, I think I'll make the excuse that we could talk about it on the show because
Oh.
I would love to talk about it. It's gonna be hard to avoid spoilers though because I want to keep the podcast spoiler free. So when that time comes, we'll have to figure out how to talk about it without spoiling things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so John Wick 2 and Lego Batman. What is that even about? Like, I've never seen a Lego movie, so I wouldn't even know what to expect.
It's about Batman. He likes to do things alone, and everyone keeps telling him he needs to have a team, he needs to have a family, he needs to depend on others, but he doesn't want to.
A family? I've never heard
and
Batman.
he ends up,
I've never heard anybody tell Batman he needs to have a family.
He's very narcissistic. He thinks he doesn't need anyone else. He ends up accidentally adopting Dick Grayson, who finds out he is Batman.
How do you accidentally adopt somebody?
You'd have to see it. It's pretty funny. And so he kind of uses him more so like as a pawn rather than like a sidekick. Mm-hmm. It's a really cute movie. And there's this weird relationship between him and Joker. He told Joker that he's not his greatest villain, and Joker feels hurt and betrayed. And so he sets off to kind of make Batman jealous.
Wait, so who voices Batman and Joker?
Batman is voiced by Will Arnett, and Joker is voiced by Zach Galifianakis.
Not Mark Hamill?
No, but he did a really good job.
Really?
Yes, like, it's supposed to be a goofy Joker. It's not supposed to be serious in any way. It's supposed to be silly.
Okay.
Batman raps in it. It's pretty funny.
I don't know. I don't know. Not having Mark Hamill or even Troy Baker. He was an awesome Batman in the game I did not play.
Well, like I said, it's tongue-in-cheek. It makes references to every single form of Batman media. And it's so, like, it talks about the bat nipples. It talks about...
The what?
You've never... Okay, there is... In Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, the suit had bat nipples.
Oh, really?
It was anatomically correct. And so it makes references to that. It makes references to the Christopher Nolan Batman films, the Adam West Batman, the animated series. It's very, very funny.
So the writers must have been really big Batman fans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was
it does have some references to the Lego movie, but nothing really
important. What was the Lego movie? What was the Lego movie?
The Lego movie was about an average Joe Lego guy who's like everyone else. And I guess there's a prophecy, and it's told he is a master builder who will save everybody from Lord Business, played by Will Ferrell, who wants to make everyone the same, wants to make everything unoriginal.
Mm-hmm. Wait, wasn't Batman in the Lego movie?
Yeah, he was.
What was he doing?
He was doing the same thing. He was the boyfriend of one of the girl characters who you find out he's a jerk because he is. But,
Is it the same voice actor?
Same voice actor.
That's so weird. So what world does the Lego world take place in?
Without, I can't really say because it would spoil the Lego movie if you've never seen it.
Oh.
But the Lego Batman movie takes place in Lego Gotham.
Is that its own world?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I'm asking, well, because I've seen or heard of like the game Lego Dimensions, and so just based on the title and seeing some of the gameplay for the Sonic Sonic Lego game. It seemed like there was this multiverse. So after seeing that and then thinking of the Lego movie, I was like under the assumption, maybe Batman was coming from another dimension.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, there's like a multiverse type deal,
Okay.
but you'd have to watch a Lego movie to really understand how it kind of.
Is it a good movie?
Oh yeah, it's like the Lego Batman movie. It's very tongue in cheek. It's very fast. It's very fun. Um,
So the girlfriend of Batman from the Lego movie, is she in the Lego
no,
Batman movie?
no, she's the main character of the Lego movie, and she breaks up with him in the Lego movie
Oh, okay.
because he's so narcissistic, doesn't care.
What were they doing
And
dating in the
what?
first place?
She liked that he was a brooding, dark figure who wrote songs.
What? Batman wrote songs?
He wrote songs about his dead parents.
That's weird.
Yep.
That's not even interesting.
It's amazing. He sings too.
Was
It's awesome.
So is it the same Lego Batman that's in the Lego Batman movie? Is it that same
Hmm.
character?
Same character, same voice
So
actor.
would you consider it a sequel or a spin-off or
I would. It's a
a sequel
spin-off,
spin-off?
definitely.
I guess it's kind of
It's
a
not a
sequel.
continuation. It's not a continuation of the Lego movie,
I guess
but it
it's
is a
more
spin-off.
Yeah, I guess it's more like a sequel in the grand scheme of things, like how the Marvel movies, each one is a sequel in terms of the timeline, but
Hmm.
is not like a true sequel to said
Yeah, because
movie.
it doesn't really mention much of the Lego movie. Like they don't even mention the main characters or anything. They just mention about the master builder and
Okay,
that's
so
pretty
it
much it.
definitely takes. So basically, there's like the Lego cinematic universe.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the only two movies in said universe
Yes,
for
there's
now.
supposed to be another one, but it's called Ninjago, the Lego Ninjago movie.
Wait, Ninjago sounds familiar.
It's a TV show, but they're making a movie out of it as well.
So does the TV show take place in the same world?
No, from what I understand, the movie is using the same characters, using the same kind of season 1 plot or season 3 plot, I can't remember.
So it's
And
sort
they're
of
just
like
kind of making it a tongue in cheek, a little bit more funny kind of parody of the show.
okay. So it sounds like it's part remake, part original continuation of the Lego cinematic universe.
Yeah, I really don't
Somewhat
know much about
retelling.
Ninjago, so I wouldn't
Okay.
really know if they change things. But the trailer itself looked pretty silly, pretty fun.
Are there any other ones coming out?
Not that I know of. I just know there's the three, and they could be making more. I wouldn't doubt it if this one did really well. So,
Hmm. Okay, so I'm looking at Wikipedia. There's an article called "List of Lego Films and TV Series." I just wanted to see like what existed within this Lego realm. Um,
hmm.
the Lego Movie is in 2014. The Lego Batman movie and the Lego Ninjago movie are in 2017. And then in 2019, there's the Lego Movie sequel.
Ooh, that's
Then
interesting.
to be announced is something called the Billion Brick Race.
Hmm.
I don't know what those are. You would probably recognize those more so than I would. Bionicle? That's considered a Lego?
I don't know.
This is Lego. Huh. I didn't realize, because I remember the toys Bionicle when I was younger, but I didn't know that it was considered a Lego. Huh, that's interesting. The more you know. TV specials. Lego Atlantis, the movie? The what? Lego Star Wars? The Padawan Menace? Lego Star Wars The Empire Strikes Out. Lego Marvel Spheres Maximum. That's weird. So I don't know if these are all within the same, I guess, universe. Do you
No
really
idea.
do you
I
need
really don't know much about the Lego stuff. I've just seen these movies.
Okay.
I don't even play the video games.
There are video games? Well, I know that
Yeah, there
there's
are
the
Lego
Dimension.
games.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars, Lego Batman, Lego
Oh my god.
Harry Potter, Lego.
And they must be making bank.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, any other movies?
Movies coming out this weekend are A Cure for Wellness, which is the
That looks awesome.
I want to say it's psychological horror film. I really don't know much about it aside from the trailer that looks like these people are keeping, I guess, mentally unstable people crazy.
That
And
or
that's
a theory of mine is that they weren't unstable to begin with and have become unstable.
yeah, unhinged. And the main character is going there to kind of investigate and ends up being thrown into it, being, I guess, drugged or something along those lines. I have really no idea. They're doing a really good job of keeping you in the dark about what's actually happening.
And that's good because I hate when trailers spoil things.
So that's coming out this Friday. You've also got The Great Wall, which has gotten a lot of controversy because it cast Matt Damon as the lead in a movie about the Great Wall of China.
Why is that controversial?
Because he is a white guy, and it's kind of saying a white guy is going to save Asians and whatnot.
Well, my perspective of it was coming in from like the background of playing video games and stories that unfold where you have a group or a civilization, and then somebody from outside said group or civilization just has a different perspective or a different upbringing that could potentially in it of itself be a solution. But I can see how that can be misconstrued to being like controversial, but my initial reaction wasn't that. My initial reaction to seeing the trailer and hearing about the movie was more so like, oh, okay, this is like the quote unquote main character of said video game who could have, like, because we don't know. I mean, I don't know at least the origin of Matt Damon's character. For all I know, he could come from the future, or like he could come from maybe he was like the son of a character who was from the like Chinese civilization, and maybe like he was outcasted because he was because his father was of a different race, and maybe it's his redemption story. Like I don't know the concept of it, so like looking like pushing myself away from the potential controversy and the unknowing of what's going on, I kind of grasp from different possibilities of like who are these characters. So like I didn't even think of like, oh, there's a white guy saving Asian people. I just saw it as, like I said, like, oh, some guy who wasn't part of said civilization could potentially help said civilization. And it's like, oh, how, like, what's so special about him that, you know, he could save them? I guess it would probably be less controversial if the races were swapped. I don't know. You know, it's like you can't have the white guy be a hero anymore.
It's just in this time frame, people get overly sensitive about everything, and that was a big deal about the movie and why it was pushed back so much, because it was supposed to come out back in 2016. It just kept getting pushed back because there was just all that negative publicity. But in a movie about fantasy and monsters climbing the Great Wall, I really don't think it's an issue with a white guy helping an army.
Yeah, it's obviously not historical, so.
Oh no, definitely, it's monsters, and from the looks of the trailer, there's like these statue dogs. I couldn't really tell.
You know what? People get too butthurt nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the last movie
I'm
coming out
sorry
is
that
Fist
I'm
Fight.
saying that because I'm white, but that's not why I'm saying it, you know? Like, you can agree with me that people are overly sensitive nowadays.
Yes, definitely.
No matter the race. I'm not referring to this case in particular, but just in general, people are way too sensitive. They're like, oh, you hurt my feelings, down with you. You know, like, oh, Jesus Christ. But what was the other thing you were saying?
The last movie to come out is Fist Fight, which is a comedy about two teachers who get in a fist fight. It's got Ice Cube, and I honestly don't know the other actor's name, but he was in Horrible Bosses. I can't remember his name, and I feel terrible, but he's kind of a weaker teacher, and then Ice Cube is kind of like, you know, a bully type teacher, and pretty much threatens to beat him up after school.
Huh.
And so it's a comedy.
Sounds like something I haven't heard of, and also sounds like it's not so unique, but could be funny.
It'll probably be like a good laugh out loud once movie, and then forget about it.
Yeah, probably.
And that's pretty much all that's coming out this weekend. It's going to be a slow week now for movies until March, when you've got a lot of things coming out.
Well, you skipped asking me what I watched, but I didn't watch anything, so it doesn't matter. I didn't watch any movies.
Aw.
I don't think I did. Right? No. I don't know. I'm looking forward to movies, but I'm not. I didn't see any this past week.
Yeah, it's just kind of slow.
When does the movie Get Out come out?
That comes out February, not this Friday, but next Friday, I think. No, yes, next Friday. That's the 24th, I think.
I'm assuming you'll wind up seeing it.
I'm not quite sure yet.
Is that... I guess that's kind of like horror. I see it more suspense than horror. I think the two usually go hand in hand, the two genres.
They're marketing it as a horror film. I thought when I first saw it, I thought it would be like almost a comedy horror.
A comedy horror?
Like the Evil Dead series.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
I thought it would be something like that, and then they've been marketing it pretty dark. So I'm not quite sure what it is.
I don't know. It looks cool, though.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
It definitely threw me off when I found out that Peele from Key and Peele was directing. I thought definitely it'd be like a spoof type movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely wasn't.
That did surprise me.
And it was very... I have no idea what's happened, which is probably fantastic. The trailer showed a lot, but it didn't show much.
Right.
Like, it showed so much that you still had so many questions.
Right. It didn't spoil any... anything, I guess.
Like, I have theories about what could be happening, but I could be completely wrong.
Right. Like, it didn't spoil the solutions to the mystery, or the whatever you want to refer to it as. I mean, I guess you could say it spoiled the fact that she uses her spoon and teacup to hypnotize people, unless.
But even then, like, that could be like throwing you off, because there seems to be a lot going on in the movie.
Yeah,
and we're only getting tidbits.
Yeah, I was like, what was with all like the surgical stuff? Like, what's happening? Like, to these people?
There's a lot. So we'll see. I'll definitely want to watch it, but I don't know if I'll get a chance to go this weekend.
Well, I meant in the near future, as opposed to like as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's a movie you're gonna see soon.
It's definitely one I'm going to want to see, just because it's very intriguing. But whether or not I see it right when it comes out, or unfortunately wait till DVD release, only time will tell.
Okay. Like, movies I'm looking forward to aren't coming out for a while. So aside from the ones that we just mentioned, I do want to see The Cure for Wellness, and I think last week you mentioned it as a movie coming out, and I didn't know what it was. And a friend of mine was telling me about it, because I was asking him, like, what movies are coming out that you would want to see, and he was like, oh, I want to see A Cure for Wellness, but I didn't know what that was, but I didn't realize I had seen the trailer a bunch of times, but I didn't know what the name of it was. Like, I didn't connect that title to that. So then when I saw the trailer again, I was like, oh, that's A Cure for Wellness. Yeah, I do want to see that, because it does look really intense.
Yeah.
So I would be excited to see that. And that and the other one we said, Get Out, which doesn't come out for a couple of weeks.
It's not this Friday, it's next Friday.
Okay. All right. And I guess talking about what's coming out, video game wise, referring to good old GameStop's upcoming video game section, we got Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 coming out February 17th, and while we're recording it, it is Wednesday, February 15th. 2017, in case you're wondering what year it is. Some other games, since this was late for this weekend, I really should be saying what games came out this week, are coming out this week in general and came out. But I'm a bit confused because I was like, that can't be all that came out or is coming out this week. And then I looked at Metacritic, and Metacritic mentioned a few other games, which I'll mention in a second, but it seems that GameStop has a different date for at least one of these games. So I don't know what the correct date is, because it's not a game that I follow. So those other ones, according to Metacritic, on the PS4, February 16th, which was yesterday, was something called Starry Nights Helix, again on the PS4. I don't know anything about that. They also said that, of course, Metacritic has a shitload for the PC, because that always seems to include random, I think I mentioned last week, people just upload whatever they want. But for the Xbox One, the game that I was talking about before that says came out or is coming out February 17th, which would be this week, whereas GameStop is saying it's the 21st, which would be next Tuesday, is Halo Wars 2. And since I was saying I don't play Halo or really know much about it, I have no idea which is the correct date. I didn't really check any other sources. I was kind of just checking GameStop's upcoming video games, because they just kind of tell you what's coming up right away. And so when I double checked with Metacritic just to see if I was missing anything, and I saw that, I was like, wait, these dates are not lining up. So I don't know which is the correct one. So if you're listening to this and you know of Halo Wars 2 or you're looking forward to it, you probably know when it's coming out. But it seems like it's either coming out in 2 days from this recording on I guess Thursday, the 17th, or it's coming out next Tuesday, the 21st. Again, I have no idea. But it also seems like a game called Tank Troopers came out on the 3DS, or I should say it's coming out tomorrow, on a Wednesday. No, okay, it's 11:38. God, I get confused because once it hits midnight, which I'm usually up through midnight, it becomes the next day. So I always get thrown off by a day. But yes, as of this recording, right now, it is 11:38 p.m. on Wednesday, February 15th, 2017. So tomorrow, apparently, some game called Tank Troopers is coming out on 3DS, and I have no idea what that is either. But those are your games for the week. As for answering comments and emails and stuff, we got none. So you guys should write to us and ask questions.
Yeah.
I noticed on SoundCloud there was a couple of comments, but I wasn't able to view them, and I have no idea why. I was kind of assuming, well, maybe they were deleted, but it's still showing me that there are comments. So if you are listening to this on SoundCloud and you did leave a comment, or you want to leave a comment, just be aware that the reason I might not respond to it is probably because I don't know how to read it, because I'm not too familiar with SoundCloud. I clicked on where it says, your comments or whatever, and when I click on it, then it doesn't show me any comments, so I have no idea what that's about. So you can always go to the Facebook page. Again, everything's going to be in the links. All the links are going to be in the descriptions. So, again, you can either write to either mine or Joey. Do you have Twitter? I can't remember.
No.
Whatever your stuff is in the description, whatever I'm linking to, because I don't know off the top of my head. You can write to that, or you can write to the stuff that I listed. The better way to reach me would be Twitter, because I don't really check the other stuff. At least my email will tell me that I got a notification. So, or there's always the Facebook page for DigiGaming. That's it. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's all.
All right, I guess that's all. All right, guys. Gonna see you hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So, talk to you later. As always, good gaming and good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Alrighty. That was cool.